Hi, my name is Anssi Tikka. I'll be your host today, and with me here I have Tomi Eronen.
Yes, Tomi Eronen from Telenor Nordics, Tech IT, leading data analytics over there.
And Camilla Parflo.
Right, Camilla Parflo from Solita Sweden, transformation lead for the Telenor Nordics program.
Tomi, can you give us a brief overview of what is actually Telenor Nordics?
Yeah, sure. Telenor Nordics actually, I have been in DNA for 10 years, so kind of I started in 2015, and then basically kind of Telenor acquired DNA in 2019. And basically kind of after that, Telenor Nordics has been kind of three BUs, the business units kind of together. So Norway, of course, then Sweden, Denmark, and DNA. And first we actually kind of started with the Nordic Hub. It was 2019 to 2022, but then it was actually kind of made a bit more kind of stronger, this organization. And basically kind of in 2022 we formed this Telenor Nordics permanent organization. And for example, this Tech IT kind of took place over there back then. And then I actually kind of started first in this data analytics as a center of excellence over there. Mm-hmm. So in 22 kind of till 23. And then in 23 summer, I actually have been in a permanent position kind of also in the Telenor Nordics Tech IT in this data analytics field. So basically kind of the idea is that kind of the four BUs are kind of forming some sort of kind of alliance kind of through it. So basically there's a kind of very much independence still in the BUs kind of how they kind of act on their local markets. But then the Telenor Nordics of course kind of looks for some key areas in a kind of shared format. Like for example data analytics is one of those kind of five cornerstones that we have currently in place.
And then can you elaborate a bit on just the size and the magnitude of
the exactly.
operation?
So basically kind of it's around 7 billion euros annual turnover for Telenor Nordics nowadays. So it is, kind of Nordics, it's a very big actually kind of a telco player nowadays.
All right, and then to the topic of the day. So can you talk a bit about the transformation that you're now undertaking?
Sure, yeah. So basically kind of we started in DNA with Solita actually kind of already like 20 years back. So I think 2007 there has been the first basically initiatives with around some kind of programs and products and services kind of and then I think that in 2015 when I joined DNA we started actually a larger program that's called Einstein. So it's a bit ambitious name kind of back then, but I think that also the kind of targets and ambitions, they were also very ambitious. So how to kind of understand our customer better and how to basically be able to kind of do these interactions between our customers in a much more kind of a fluid and kind of a way that actually kind of brings both the NPS up, but also our cross and upsell kind of possibilities up. So that has been basically kind of ongoing from there. And we actually started completely cloud native already in 2015, and then basically kind of been building on top of that, and those kind of also this kind of data ops type of kind of fully automated kind of platform development that has been part of the kind of story and journey, and then also the agile way of development that was also kind of a big cultural change. So how to actually involve also the business kind of people in this more keenly. So it's not the kind of a traditional kind of a waterfall where just IT is delivering something and then business is perhaps ordering something, but then IT is not disturbing kind of anymore kind of the business after that. So we actually kind of were forming teams, kind of cross-functional teams from business, IT, and finance, for example, who are then kind of working towards kind of some kind of goals in order for us to be able to kind of deliver, for example, some AI kind of services nowadays. So that has been kind of the thing that we have been doing in DNA. Then I think it was 2018 or 19 kind of we were encouraged of this kind of good experiences in this kind of a customer engagement field and this marketing automation field. And then we were thinking that why shouldn't we actually take the whole data platform in the cloud native as well? And then actually kind of we were then looking together with Solita this possibilities to kind of take this ADE, which was also kind of then built back then, and it was very new kind of a development in Solita's kind of a side, this agile data engine, and that is a kind of a cornerstone of our kind of a data platform, and then also Snowflake and AWS kind of a continuing kind of a doing over there, and then in 2018-19 we were evaluating, then starting to implement, and then I think in 2020 we were able to kind of establish the fully cloud-native data analytics platform in DNA.
Okay, and what about then the kind of DNA Telenor?
Exactly. I was about to come into that. So after these experiences, then when this Telenor Nordics actually started to then kind of be basically kind of the forum where we are then kind of doing this collaboration. Then the one big thing was that, or the idea was that how to actually elaborate these experiences from DNA on this Nordic context, and how to kind of get this work done kind of and actually kind of being able to achieve good results in DNA, how to actually get them also in use for other Nordic BUs. And that's actually kind of the phase in 22 when we started then, this Center of Excellence format first, kind of the best practice sharing kind of between BUs, but then we were actually establishing quite soon in 23, I think it was kind of a program around this. So all the 4 Nordic BUs are kind of aiming towards kind of a fully cloud native, and we have actually GCP, the Google Cloud Platform, as our kind of a technical kind of a architectural kind of a platform where we are now kind of heading all the BUs, and then also kind of course kind of the vendor, the system integrator kind of that was selected then in 23, and basically we had an RFP round, and then we actually kind of got Solita as a winner from them. So we are now able to also leverage Solita's kind of work that has been DNA on the broader Nordic kind of a scale and scope. So that is of course very exciting now.
All right. Sounds like quite a sizable effort. So Camilla, can you walk us through a bit, like how are you now structuring the work?
So we have, of course, the local projects. We have the transformation ongoing in Denmark and the transformation ongoing in Sweden. And those are driven from a little bit different perspectives. So the end goal is the same, to modernize the data architecture and making the data management more efficient. But we also put this into a program because we strive for synergies, of course. And so we have a program with specialist roles where we have sort of target data architecture, target data governance. So we can leverage our best practices from both the BUs in Telenor Nordics, but also our best practices as Solita, but also, of course, marry that with the local prerequisites and requirements. So we have really the best of both worlds, we think.
Yeah, and that was of course kind of naturally kind of one of the big kind of things that we were looking at when we had a good experiences in DNA with Solita, that to take those experiences that Solita already has kind of from the DNA, and also kind of Solita had been already kind of working, for example, with Sweden kind of a couple of years before that we are able to kind of leverage all those experiences then across kind of Nordic kind of BUs, and that is basically the whole idea that we are kind of driving in this Nordics kind of, and as I said kind of that there's a lot of independency in the Nordic BUs, then it also kind of means that we are not able to kind of perhaps kind of push, we are not able to mandate, or we don't have mandate to push kind of things forcefully kind of in them, but we need to kind of get them onboarded from the early on, and then of course kind of having these programs where everybody is able to kind of participate already from the design and planning phase and then implement kind of locally. That's the key kind of
which is very much related to what we work with you on a Nordic level with treating data as a product. Where we maybe try to be even more efficient because there are so huge volumes of data in the telco industry, of course, and the central team becomes a bottleneck. So you need to start federating it out to the business side. And then we work with Telenor Nordics to start with, but then we take it back to the local projects to capture their specific requirements and go back to the central level, if you like, to set a strategy and framework that works for everyone. Because on a vision level, it's easy, sort of, but it's on sort of the exact journey how to get there that's going to be different for the local projects, of course, because you have different prerequisites, you have a different organization, you have different skills, size of organization, so on and so forth, and so that has to be scaled for that.
Exactly. No, not sure I would call the vision easy, maybe more ambitious, but regarding the kind of level of ambition, I'm sure, Tommy, you have set some objectives also for this journey. So can you talk a bit about those?
Of course, kind of. Then what I can say that, for example, on a kind of a business value kind of a wider or side kind of the main ambition, of course, is to kind of create business value out of data and analytics and AI, basically embed those into business processes and get business people involved and understand. And for example, this data as a product kind of as a framework, that is one main kind of a reason for kind of implementing that is exactly kind of that the business understand kind of the data more as a product which can be embedded in their product and services, and then kind of see the clear linkage kind of between the kind of this data that might otherwise be a bit abstract kind of a thing for a business kind of and how it basically kind of embeds into the actual offering. So the business value kind of that's one part. Then of course kind of a time to market, time to value, so that we are able to accelerate that kind of development. So that is the other thing which we are also kind of measuring, and we have been also able to see kind of quite good results already in DNA when we started kind of doing this fully automated kind of a way of working, and then the agile development kind of so these two combined, they were kind of giving us like 40 or even 50 times kind of the kind of deployment rates kind of so that type of kind of things happens, and then ultimately there's of course kind of then can be seen on the business side as a kind of acceleration of the kind of time to market. But of course, then we are also looking for efficiencies. So as I said, that we are kind of aiming for a common architecture, and basically that is one thing that this kind of Nordic organization is especially kind of looking, that we have a common architecture basically, which means that basically the overall kind of cost levels, they are kind of also, we are able to kind of get them on a kind of a reasonable level.
So bringing data to the business and making the kind of development cycles happen faster and more efficiently.
Exactly.
That's
very kind of a modest.
Like I said, the level of ambition is high. But we in IT, we talk a lot about bringing IT and business together. But how do we actually get the people involved in the change? Any thoughts about that?
Well, it is a big change, as you say, and that's usually very underestimated. We tend to see a problem and we find new technology and we apply that, go into cloud, we'll solve a lot of problems. But it is about people changing your mindset, not only in the data organization, but also, as you say, out in the business, getting them closer to treating the data as something that's really important to them, and getting rid of this. It's IT, it's business, it's data is everyone's matter. So you need to find evangelists, and you need to showcase. You do something, you do it well, you celebrate that a lot to really bring in sort of the pull factor and get people enthusiastic about what we do, and sort of say, oh, that worked really well. We find something in Denmark, we apply it in Sweden, and vice versa, and share ideas, and that brings people on board and sort of saying, hey, this actually really works. Maybe there's something that we can do as well. So that's really important, I find.
Yeah,
what do you
and
think?
the overall kind of this kind of agility and the kind of agile mindset, kind of that you are really, as you said, kind of bringing people together. But also kind of then kind of showcasing kind of the value aspect that we are able to kind of create by this type of kind of a way of working, kind of a value early on. So basically kind of being able to kind of do an incremental, not to kind of that we have a goal after 2 years and then somebody might get something out of this. That is a bit kind of a thing in the past kind of way, but nowadays you need to kind of be in a couple of months even kind of able to kind of showcase some value, and then by doing that, actually kind of getting everybody involved, kind of that they also kind of get very kind of ambitious. This is really kind of something huge kind of, and we need to kind of be part of that. So that is kind of you get the drive kind of to the organization.
Okay, yeah. So kind of deliver fast, deliver early, make people see the value and see how it impacts their
and celebrate the success.
Exactly. Right. Well, celebration, you can't ever kind of have too little celebrations.
What about that? At the same time, multiple different tracks, multiple different dimensions. It can't only be a walk in the park. So Camilla, can you talk a bit about the challenges?
It is a big program. Which is fantastic. It's a true challenge, as you say. There's multiple different aspects, different prerequisites. You have different challenges depending on the situation. We have the Nordics, and we say we're the same, but we are different, actually. And we have different situations and different organizations, as I mentioned before. So that's always tricky to balance. Also the sort of the central needs towards the local needs, because you have to think about the autonomy of the BUs and not just something that's pushed from a central and just say, go do this. It has to be attached, as you say, to the local business operations. So that's tricky, and it's also, we work with both on-site and nearshore. So those people who are on-site, because you have to be on-site, I think, in order to truly understand the customer and then sort of live and experience what they do. But the people who sit online most of the times, they need to be part of this too. They need to feel close and celebrate like the rest of us. And then you have the program and the project perspective, where the local projects has to feel part of the program, and the program has to feel part of the local. So But it's always tricky to balance all these different needs. So it's walking a tight line.
Yeah, exactly. I would also kind of emphasize this kind of a cultural kind of a change, because you are not able to kind of underestimate that. And then of course kind of the local kind of standpoints, they are a bit different. The maturity level kind of regarding kind of what you are kind of then aiming for, but very very often that is a kind of different. They are kind of in different levels, and then you need to kind of somehow kind of accommodate that your vision kind of state is clear, and you are kind of communicating it clearly to everybody. Yeah. But then you are also kind of creating a practical steps for everybody to be able to reach that kind of, and those steps might be a bit different in different kind of units and domains, but still kind of be able to kind of by doing so kind of get everybody involved and understand kind of the value, and also the realization kind of that it is something that everybody can do basically.
Absolutely, it's like this vision with data as a product that we drive now. The vision is the same. Make sure that data is valuable, that we can exploit that value and we can deliver faster. It's sort of the same, but how we get there, it's okay that it's a little bit different. Exactly. That's absolutely fine, and I think that's important for the local be used to feel that they are treated, that they are a little bit unique, because they are, and we should celebrate also that and take that into account.
Yeah, exactly.
So what it sounds like is that even though we are talking about data and cloud and technology, at the end of the day it's about people and how to get everyone on board.
Yeah, I would say this at least 80% kind of about people and kind of a culture and communication and kind of getting people kind of involved, and then 20% of technology kind of.
Even though we tend to think that technology solves all the answers, it helps us a lot.
Yeah, but 80-20, and this is coming from data professionals.
Yes.
Maybe that's one of the key takeaways, but I'm sure that there are people in the audience considering similar kinds of transformation efforts. So some takeaways that you'd like to leave with them from here.
As I think that we already said, don't underestimate the change and the need to communicate. Communicate what's going on and making people feel safe, that we are changing the ways. It doesn't mean that anyone has to go. It just means that we spend our time doing more valuable things and maybe making it more fun, actually, because we're trying to take away the silos and bring people together. And it's a good thing at the end, but it is a big change.
Yes, of course. But also I think would say kind of that be bold and kind of start kind of doing this kind of a change, and basically kind of start small, and then basically kind of try out things, and then try out kind of things on the technology side, on the kind of a people side, culture side, kind of the way of work, and then basically kind of when you find kind of something that is really usable, is bringing some benefits, kind of then start to scale that one. So this is kind of a true agile kind of a way of kind of thinking, that I think that is the one big key kind of on kind of getting basically kind of things first started, and then also kind of ongoing, and also get people kind of convinced that this is the kind of the right way.
And really share that across the Nordics. Find something great. As I said, we copied the data platform in Denmark. We implemented that in Sweden in record time. Got they really quickly off the journey, and that was a big success. And every little success needs to be celebrated.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really kind of a place to celebrate, kind of to get that one ongoing. So.
Yeah, I think we've been talking here in the Nordics about pan-Nordic collaboration. Maybe Telenor has actually uncovered something special here. So it's super interesting to have been able to listen to you about this transformation. Thank you so much, and I hope the audience got a lot of good insights out of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.